Sculpture and reshape an image with light is our topic today on Luminar Coffee Break. Let's see what we can accomplish in 15 minutes or less, starting now. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Now, today's topic was inspired on my recent trip for the holiday season to my family in New York. My sister was watching me edit with Luminar Neo, and she just said, how come your images have a way of directing? She didn't say the word directing. She said, I'm more focused in these images you have of us. And what she was talking about was the way I use vignette or lighting to draw attention to what we wanted to see the most. So that got me thinking about doing that for you guys here. So let me just jump right in. So I'll start with this shot I took in Las Vegas. I'll do this one right here. Now, we'll start with an easy one. Edit. I like everything about it. The only thing I don't like, of course, is there's too many distracting elements. So let's come over here to our new light depth. And this image screams for light depth. Look at this. Right there. Ooh, look at that. And then, of course, I can dial it in. But already, look what's happening. Look how we're redirecting that light. And then, of course, I can come in. There's a lot of other options we could do here. The brightness far away, I want to bring it down a little bit more, because right now, the statue is my focus. So look what we did here. Here, we just sculptured the light into the area that we wanted. Now, that's great. Now, I'm going to continue with this one right here. And now I want to take away some of the light. And what I mean by that is the specular highlights, or the highlights around, let's say, the cheeks of the statue. So here's highlights. And look what I'm doing. Look how I'm just bringing that light source down. And then there we have it. Now, if I were to use black tones, look at this. Ooh, look how I'm enriching the tones. It's giving the appearance that we're changing or sculpturing the light. And what we're really doing is adding contrast to it. And I could use super contrast here, like this, and start adding more and just build it up. Again, these are just ways, look at this, how we can add light and the focus. Now, I wanted to draw more attention to the sculpture or the statue. So let's go to enhance and watch. Global change. Now, everything got lit, but I only want the statue. So here we go with the radial gradient. And I want to apply that only here. Look at that. Now, the same effect could be applied if we use vignette, and I'm going to do that in a little bit on one of the other images, but I wanted to show you the different tools we have. You either add light, take away light, shape it, sculpture it. It's entirely up to you. But the key here, now, if you've been doing this for a long time, you know what's interesting? Just like myself, it becomes second nature. You don't even realize you're doing it. So when a new person like my sister comes along and questions, well, how did you do that? Then you start to realize, wow, I've come a long way with that. In the photography world, let's grab another image. Let's do this image right here. All right, so in the photography world, if I'm photographing this, I love the look. This was a stock image. I would have taken away some of the light by using the proper exposure. So let's come over here to edit. And here's develop. And I've talked about this before. Here's exposure. Notice here, these are in stops. So let's see how, if I shot this, I probably would have went down maybe a half a stop. Yeah, look at that. So I would have in camera purposely made this a half a stop darker. All right. Now, ready for this? First, let's look over here. They shot this at 1.4. Well, what if we wanted the starburst effect on all these? Then you'd take your f-stop and move it up to 16, f16 or f22. So then we wouldn't have to do this. I'm going to come over here to the creativity, magic light. I really like starburst effects. So let's add them. Now you have to decide when it looks fake or if it's looking just the way you want it. Let's do this. Beam width, number of beams, right about here. And let's see the size of them. Right about there. We don't want it overboard. In fact, let's see if I could do it overboard. We're right here, the intensity. Look, to me, that's way overboard. All right. So you decide how much intensity do I want to get or give it. Let's say right about here. And maybe I'm going to come to masking. And maybe I'm thinking, okay, I like what it's doing in the background. Maybe the foreground, I'm going to do a little less. That's entirely up to you as the artist. But I can come in with masking, erase, and take the opacity down just a bit. And maybe just remove some of it in certain areas. But again, that's entirely up to you. And as always, since it is non-destructive, I can always come back in and continue, or I can even add or take away. Let's take away some of these. Let's take it away from here, here, and here, just as an example. There we go. And maybe you want to come in and say, okay, look, I just want it right about here. I'll do this one here too, but on the edge. There we go. So we can add or take away. Now that was magic light. All right. So we have those down. And let me get to my lighting. So I have it right here. There we go. Luminar Coffee Break. And lights. There we go. So we did that with this scene here. Now, let's come into this shot here. I love this shot that I took. I dragged shutter, did a whole bunch of cool things in camera. But I still want more direction onto her. So what we could do is this. Now let's come in, and I did talk about this with the vignette tool. I can come in, choose the subject, her. Now I'm going to dial it back a bit. In fact, let's go to an extreme so you can see it better. So I can place it, and I want to place it right about here. Right now, bring it back just a little. But I also want to add a little more light right there. Let's see if it makes a difference. Before, after. All right? So that's what Vignette did for me. Now, with portraits, let's get a little more creative. And I'm going to come down here to Studio Lights. After I did this inside Luminar Neo, I wish I did this in the studio. Watch this. I'm going to add just an arbitrary amount of light right about here. Let's bring it right over, right about there. I'm going to dial it, brightness back just a little bit, the amount. But what we're going to do is we're going to control the light in the scene. But here's what I wish I did in the studio. I wish I used a gobo, a go-between. Look how it's giving me that nice pattern on the subject. So I have that right here. In fact, I'll go to an extreme so we could see it. Let's see. There we go. Let's just go to an extreme. So now I'm playing with where I want that light to be. Right about there, let's say. Well, I really don't want it on her eye. Right? All right, I can go here and then dial it back. And actually, I'm going to move it up a little bit. And these are the same things I would have done in the studio. There we are. All right. And then I'm going to bring back the depth of it. Right about there. And the brightness. Back. And then light contrast. There we go. Just enough. Look at that. Just to make it look interesting. But look how light plays a key role. Now, what happens when you're in a situation when you don't have light? Like concert photography is a great example. I had the fortunate chance to photograph the Far East Movement, phenomenal band. Well, I'm going to go through, and first let me just show you my pitfalls in the very beginning, and I had no idea I was going to photograph them. My buddy turned to me and said, hey, guess where we're going? It was for an HP event. We went, had my camera, we started shooting, and yes, look, I got a little flustered in the beginning. I could not find the light. The light was just horrible. Then after a while, I started thinking, ooh, look at the background. What if I find pockets of light? There we are. Now I found the pockets of light, and I waited for them to go under that light source. Then I captured the shots. So let me give them some of my favorite ones. Flag, and we'll do favorites. All right. So here's a good example. There's the image. Didn't like it. Look, just a few moments later, when that background lit up, that was the decisive moment to snap the shots. Now I have a lot of light to work with. And then from here, let's come in and let's go develop again. I'm going to bring down blacks a little bit. Now, when I'm doing this, notice I'm losing some of the light on him. That's okay. I'll bump up the shadows a little. Contrast. All right. So I'm good for now, but I need that light to his face. And since I can't bring us a flash when we're photographing them, now I'm going to have to add light to the subject's face. There it is. Good. Now we have to do what we did. Well, we could do what we did earlier. We could use either vignette and dial it back in, or go old school. Here we go, and use masking. But for now, I like this. Right about there. There we are. Look at that. And look how the light's coming down. So we went from this, an image that I wasn't too happy about, to this. Keeping with the lighting concept, he started lighting the background huge and did all these incredible effects. Now incorporate that into the photo, and there we have it. So keep in mind, when we're dealing with light, it's your job as a photographer to find it. You find that light, just like in that case there, the pockets of light, and you play with it. Landscape photographers are famous for doing this. They'll sit there and they'll look at where the light's coming from, and they look down and they see these beautiful patches of light coming through the trees. They angle themselves, they move, take the shot. Same thing with street photography. I have many friends that are absolutely amazing. They have the ability to stand on a street and look how the light is coming down an alleyway. And then they position themselves, usually with a nice telephoto lens, and then they wait for a subject to walk. And as soon as they get into that light, boom, they snap that shot. And now it just looks like something beautiful, dark, 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 a sliver of light, just a nice little kiss. And then there's the subject walking in between it. As photographers, look for it. And then from there, if you don't get what you're looking for, remember we've talked about this, don't photograph what you see. Photograph what you imagine it to be. Then when you get back into your home and you're in front of your computer, then you start to reshape the light the way you want it. And what that should do for you, hopefully, is teach you the next time I'm out there, I'm going to try to do this on the next shoot. So it's done in camera. All right. So I hope that helps you. And please just start practicing sculpturing that light, directing the viewer into the scene. Now, if you're here, please stick around for the Ask Me Anything segment. For everyone else, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you the next coffee break.